fino al centro del mondo. Tutto quello che ho, in mezzo a tutto questo bel casino, è un motivo per sentirmi vivo, è un motivo per sentirmi vivo. Tutto quello che ho, il sangue che mi arriva dritto al cuore, l'ossigeno che spinge a respirare, e una ragione grande come il mare, come il mare.
Welcome everyone to 25% Sao Paulo. It is the Peugeot Front Road Vedo Nunez Garcia. After we have Lamfog Kest Andley from Matthew Hart and Mr. Bob, with Simon Boy MP7 from Spike CB and Versio, with Paul's Green Round of the top 10. Next we have A.G.E and Nicholas Palomino from Kristen Bentley and Juan Villalobos. After that's all Carmona in the bottom 5 drivers. We've got Iron Crow, UKB, Marcus Adderley, and then finally David Sekiera and Vitor Alves. Here we go everyone, for this, the 25% of Sao Paulo, 5 red lights on our screens. And we go racing in Sao Paulo. And off the front, the two Peugeots will be hoping to get a good start, which they have got. And in the run down to the first corner, Nunez Garcia behind De Benedetto. Lamfong holding third place crucially as Matthew Hart moves up into P4. However, he is alongside the freedom racing there of Chaos Andale, but Andale can't get through, and that is Matthew Hart's P4 there. Cyberboy on the inside, trying to get past Andale, but he hasn't found the room to do so. He's in P6 currently, and he's currently alongside Andale, rubbing against each other there. DeVedo getting a track limit warning. As you could very clearly see, he is pushing his car to its limit at the moment, already pulling out a pretty big advantage out in front, as Juan Villalobos for Toyota Racing has got a penalty as Iron Crow is getting close to the Toyota driver. However, must make contact with him as UKB trying to get ahead of Olga Carmona, Christian Bentley, also trying to make up some more places on them soft tyres. Not able to do so at the moment, but he's found Subaru alongside the Aston Martin and heading around the final corner. Christian Bentley now up into 14th place ahead of Olga Carmona and now freely able to catch up to Juan Villalobos. However, Bentley's been attacked there. Carmona's penalised for it, and there'll be damage to both cars for sure, as the Peugeot's just currently running away from everyone else. Lamfong and the Ferrari just can't catch them guys at the moment. And as for the battery, they're doing alright on the battery. Lamfong though seem to be doing better on the battery, so he can definitely deploy more and catch up to them. So it's just a matter of when they want to do it. As we're going to head on board now with Chaos Andale in that Freedom Racing, a livery that represents Mercedes quite a bit, just not the current season Mercedes. As in the final sector, into the wall there, it's Porter Cream making contact with someone else. I can't see who it was. DeVedo has to fast lap the race, a 1 minute point 2. McCream though down to the back of the grid. Meanwhile, A.G.E trying to hold up a massive train behind him. Like, this train seems to be very slow. Meanwhile, the two Peugeots, they are definitely not being slow. They've just extended their gap to Lamfong even more, as Mark Sadler gets a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision that must have been with UKB, as he's the driver that he's right with. UKB though going back on the attack, trying to find someone to get past, but he has been blocked off successfully by Marcus Adelaide, who will hold that position. The Briton though, now under threat from David Sekiera in the Atlas Ford. So these two championship rivals over in F1, and currently they're being WEC rivals in this race. Literally just the race, not really the championship, but as a person. We're on board though with Vitor Alves, the David Sekiera, and they make contact! The two Fords have hit each other! Oh no, that's bad for Ford. Really bad. Cyberboy coming into the pit lane. A.G.E staying out. All come on also staying out, so most people on soft stayed out though. Cyberboy is literally the only one to make a pit stop there. As Nunez Garcia, lap by lap, was getting ever so closer too dominant to Benedetto out in front. Of course, to Benedetto, we all know what he done last race. He won last race. He won Le Mans. And he's going to try and win Sao Paulo here today. As Spiker CB gets a penalty. Vitaral's into the pits. Switching onto a set of hard tyres. David Sakara staying out. Inoki gets another penalty. This time it's track limits. 10 seconds for his name. Adelaide there got a penalty. That didn't show up on the graphics just before. And we're on board with UKB, who's getting very close to Marcus Adelaide. These two could hit each other very soon if they don't be careful. And UKB just going to commit here on the inside. And yes, there is contact. UKB gets a 5-second time penalty for that. Unsurprisingly, Lamfong in the pits. Many other drivers also in. Benedetto, though, crucially, has done the undercut on his teammate. Well, that's what he's going to be hoping to do, as he's seeing many drivers pass him, which he'll have to try and overtake on this outlap. So a very crucial lap for Dominic Benedetto. He needs to hope that he can just clear these cars so that he can stay ahead with Nubert Nunez Garcia, who, if he is on his in-lap, will be trying to push. Mr. Volvo getting a 5-second time penalty in the Alpine, retired last race, back into this race with actually good form. He's been driving well, but that penalty there, that's not good. Marcus Adelaide, David Seguera both in the pits. Adelaide out on hards, Seguera coming out on hards as well. As Matthew Hart picks up a penalty, that's going to go on to his time in the next pit stop. As Nico Palomino has just picked up a penalty for track limits. So the track limits are starting to catch drivers out now at this stage in the race, and that is not good. As many drivers have come in, Adelaide though being massively held up there by Villalobos and Versio, who both enter their pit box. Villalobos needs to serve his 5-second time penalty. Versio has just came out of his box. You can see Pierce Adelaide right ahead. And yeah, Nunez Garcia is definitely behind De Benedetto now. So it is a successful undercut for Dominic De Benedetto to hold his position. And he gained like 3 to 4 seconds on Nunez Garcia just by staying out. So it is very clear that staying out was worth it for the Peugeot, but Garcia has just picked up a penalty there. And now we got a massive three-way battle here. Somehow they have not hit each other. And now Nunez Garcia getting into that fight. And it makes it a 4-way fight. He's hit UKB there actually on the run down to the final proper corner. He should get ahead of the British driver easily, which he does. Matthew Hart we're on board with, as he's got Oyenkro right ahead, who's just holding these guys up. Hart and Oyenkro battling for P2, and Matthew Hart takes P2 in this race. Oyenkro drops down to P3, as now Nunez Garcia fighting back in towards turn 4. And it looks like he should be ahead of the Aston Martin. He just needs to get moved on the outside line, and he does get it done. The Peugeot driver getting that move done when needed. Matthew Hart, 10-second time penalty. That's on his name right now. That'll go on his next pit stop, which will be happening soon. His tyres are wearing out, so yeah, he needs to get this move done ASAP. Both Peugeots are suffering with penalties, as many penalties are flying around as well. Chris Bentley just got one as well. He's down P14, and that's just going to make his race even worse. As yellow flag out of the race goes UKB, and yeah, there's the British driver just parked up on the side. I wonder if anyone's going to go for a free pit stop. Oyenkro does. Oyenkro's in. So the Aston Martin driver is now into the pit lane, and he's ready to get himself a lovely free stop. You know, VSC's ending. He moves on to another set of hard tyres. Responsible choice. He could probably make a one-stop work, if I'm going to be honest. As out the pits comes Oyenkro in P12. That free stop, though, is going to be very crucial in this race for him. And if everything goes right, this could be a race-winning move right here. As Bentley trying to get past Oyenkro, Oyenkro reclaims P12. As he'll be trying to hunt down and get Mr. Bob's position of P11. Andale gets a 5-second time penalty. That's another one. That's 10 seconds down to his name, as Palomino now sees himself in the top 7. Penalties, though, are going to impact him. And AG.E picks up a 5-second time penalty. Pretty much everyone has got a penalty now at this point, as Theo getting close to Palomino. However, he does get successfully blocked by the Toyota, as he's just trying to find his way around this track. Spike CB will be due for a pit stop. So he's gonna. I thought Theo was actually about to pit there, which would have been weird. As Chaos Andale comes in for his second stop of the day. Spiker down the inside of Palomino, of Theo, but can't get the place done. He will now also face threat from Mr. Bob. At the same time, Crow has picked up a 5-second time penalty, and that's going to be very bad for his race, as Benedetto picks up another penalty, and that's very bad for him, because now Nunez Garcia could take victory here in Brazil. He's got fresher tyres than his teammates, so he's going to keep closing that gap in as well. Oh damn, Crow now on 10 seconds of penalties. Spiker picking up another one, that's also 10 seconds penalties for him. The two Aston Martins picking up a lot of penalties today, as you can very clearly see. And currently as well, it's in net second place right now for Savvy Boy, as Matthew Hart comes in to serve penalties and get a pit stop done. And Savvy Boy getting really close now to the net race lead as well, as we have battles to be focusing on. Mr. Bob versus Palomino versus Theo. Theo trying to close in on Palomino. However, no take attempt can be done. He wasn't fast enough down that straight, and that has put him at threat from Mr. Bob in the Alpine Endurance car. The Ferrari under threat, however the Ferrari does hold on, going wide in the process. That's going to be bad for him. Speaking of wide, Mr. Bob has took very wide lines there, but them wide lines have not paid dividends for him at all. Sorry Boy, despite the older tyres, has actually got some pretty solid pace at the moment. As yellow flag, oh! Chaos Andale's out. David Sekiera also out. But the way Andale just smashed into the wall, God, I hope he's alright. To Benedetto though, getting a free pit stop because of this. And this is just a nightmare for Nunez Garcia, who sees his victory chances slip away once more. And it is Benedetto leaving the pit lane in P6, right behind Crow, Mr. Bob and Theo. And straight away, Mr. Bob's actually going to go for a move on Theo down straight into the Cena de Lago, and he's now up into 3rd place. Theo in 4th, but that may not last long, because you got Crow and Benedetto right behind on fresher tyres. Here's Crow now up into P4. Theo getting absolutely swarmed by these guys. However, he's managed to hold on to P4 again, and on the inside he went for the move on Mr. Bob. A very aggressive one that didn't pay out for him. To Benedetto moving up into P5. Crow though doesn't want to back out, but he's finally got the place done. Next up it is Theo round the outside. To Benedetto ahead of Theo into P4 now. And now his next goal will be to get Mr. Bob. That should be easy enough, as we head on to lap 12 of this race. 6 laps to go, including the current one. As into the wall! It's a AG.E with Spiker CB. As AG.E is just stuck on the hill. And the virtual safety car's out. Spiker is out of this race. Looks like he suffered an engine failure or something right after. Once again, it's just awful timing for Garcia, who can't capitalise off the virtual safety car. Villalobos comes into the pit lane, and he's changed onto a fresh set of medium tyres. Should get him to the end of the race, hopefully. As Marcus Adelaide also comes in, but he's not really going to gain much off of this. And we go green once more in Sao Paulo, and we're on board with Benedetto once more, who's heading closer to Mr. Bob. You're looking to the inside line here of the Alpine, and the Alpine backs out. Mr. Bob surprisingly backs out there. For the multiple time F1 race winner. Yeah, that's just a bit weird to see him back out like that. But anyways, the Benedetto now up in a third place, a net race first. There's no way Garcia or Simon is going to be taking their tyres to the end of the race. And even if they did, the Benedetto would probably easily catch up and get within 5 seconds of Nunez Garcia. As Simon comes into the pit lane, which is a sign for Nunez Garcia to come in as well. Considering the age of Simon has been +1 lap compared to Garcia's, sorry, +2. We can possibly expect him to come in the pit in 2 laps time, which will give him 2 laps to go once he's done the out lap. So actually, we might actually decide to stay out to the end. We'll just have to see what goes on. Will Garcia pit? Will he not? Well, if anything, I'd probably say he's going to pit. Honestly, just to play safe. As Bentley getting close to Oyenkro. Oyenkro, with the fresher tyres, he should be pulling away from him. Sideboy on fresh soft tyres, so he'll be trying to close into the 2 Force Racings, running 8 and 9 of Matthew Hart and Olga Carmona. Garcia, though, into the pit lane. And the Benedetto tyres are going to wear out. They're gonna, yeah, there you go, visual wear started for him. So, yeah, for Garcia, he's going to finally get onto some fresh tyres. Palomino in second place from Lam Fong and Christian Bentley. Villalobos now up in a 5th place. Garcia is just ahead of Olga Carmona. However, he is behind Matthew Hart, so he's going to have to try and clear that Force Racing. While also making sure that Carmona doesn't have any chances to get ahead here. Carmona, though, is pretty quick down the straight, approaching 320 kilometers an hour. However, there's not enough pace, not enough difference in the pace there for Garcia to be overtaken, as he can now look on setting his sights and getting ahead of Matthew Hart. With a 4-lap tyre advantage and Hart's tyres being dead, I can see this being a good opportunity for Garcia to get ahead, possibly before the end of the lap. Garcia picking up 5 time over track limits. Ferrari looking a bit interesting today, 3rd and 11th, not the best of places for them. Marcus Adley getting a 5 time out of track limits, so yeah. But he's flying everywhere as De Benedetto's in. Dominic De Benedetto has opted to make a pit stop here. I don't know why Peugeot have done this, but he's on the fresh soft tyres. Nunez Garcia will be taking what should be the net race lead, unless the guys at the front stay out, which they could do. So we're on board with the Peugeot driver, who flies straight ahead of Matthew Hart, whose tyres are very dead and he'll have to come into the pits at the end of this lap, or else he will be risking a puncture the following lap on lap 16. Villalobos getting a 5-second time penalty, so that's pretty much knocking his race winning contentions out the window, unless he can catch up to Lam Fong and Palomino. So yeah, that'll be a bit annoying for Villalobos. Palomino, though, will lead us onto lap 16 unless he pits. And virtual safety car, out goes Carmona. And the top 2 have stayed out. Yeah, no sign anywhere of Carmona's car. Yeah, currently looking now at the battle for the win here in Brazil. Palomino and Lam Fong. Will the race go to the Spanish driver of Palomino, or will it go to the Vietnamese driver of Lam Fong? One was close to a championship here, the other one is a champion here, and that one is Lam Fong. He's got the experience of WEC. He's been here since the beginning of WEC. And he needs to use that experience to push towards Palomino and into the wall! Vestio! As Matthew Hart is also out as well, involved in that collision. As Vestio is going to be left limping around these final 2 laps at the moment. That's what it looks like, with his car being in the state that it is in. Nico Palomino, though, has got the advantage of the track position. Palomino and Fong's tyres are both the same age, and this restart's going to be a very important one. It's been a somewhat equal restart for the pair of them. However, Lam Fong has got the advantage here of having slipstream down this straight. He can choose to go for a move on to the last lap of the race. He could do that if he wants. As there we go, he's got both the battery and the DRS activated. They're so close to each other. And on the last lap, this is truly a battle to decide the winner here. And Palomino has managed to stay ahead throughout the first part of the lap, and this is perfect for him. Fong is going to struggle. Luven Nunes Garcia in 3rd place, Benedetto in 7th. And yeah, if only Garcia didn't have that penalty, he would be on for this victory. As it's a 5-second penalty there for Lam Fong. And that there is going to be extremely bad for his race. He should be dropping down to P4 at the moment. So, for Luven Nunes Garcia, he needs to hope Palomino will violate these track limits once more. But if not, the victory will be going to Palomino. And it will. Nicholas Palomino, who comes around the final corner, will take victory in the 25% of Sao Paulo. Palomino wins. Ford will get P2 on the road. Luven Nunes Garcia will actually take 2nd place after that interesting result. And yet it's confirmed Lam Fong will finish this race down in P4. As many of the drivers crossing the line, Versio holding on to P8 on the road. He will lose that place though, as Christian Bentley is going to come to the checkered flag, as Q for some reason just randomly broke there by the looks of it. Owen Crow comes home for P12. He will gain a couple places off of that. And there we go, the end of your race here. And it is Palomino who takes victory in Brazil. Luven Nunes Garcia finishing P2, but the other Toyota there of Juan Villalobos steps onto the podium. It's Toyota 1-3, but this is seriously good for the championship challenge. So yeah, with that, let's listen to the Spanish national anthem. Diego Palomino would say from Luven Nunes Garcia and Juan Villalobos. Alpha's Lam Fong, Sideboy from Mr. Bolt, and Doy Benedetto with Mark Adelaide and P8 from Versio and Iron Crow running off your key points finishes. After that, like the half point finishes, we have Bentley and Q, Paul McCream and Vita Ralphs, with Hart, Carmona, Spiker, Serkera, and Lady Cable retiring for the race. And that's it for the 25% of Brazil, with Sao Paulo, sorry. We'll see you next time for the 35% of Turkey in round 6, when the APX WEC series returns.